we can add another gear to it, and it'll make a toothbrush. Well, okay, well, why do we want to do that? Well, we could sell it for $5. Well, most electric toothbrushes are like $25 or something like that. These guys, did it on their own, did it for 2 years on their own, finally sold it to Procter & Gamble for like $400 million. All because it was spin pop. All because they sat around, took some time and said, what can we do with something that goes like this? Something that goes like this. And they came up with this toothbrush. It's a great thing. The last thing on here is something I think is even cooler. Remember the story about the Christmas tree? By the way, Nottingham and Spurk designed that. They also designed this. Anybody buy the Dutch Boy thing? Anybody? Okay, here's the story. A couple years ago, Sherwin-Williams had a new CEO. And they're talking about, their positioning in the marketplace, yada, yada. So the two guys from Nottingham and Spurk come in and say, and give him a demonstration. How they got his ear, I don't know, but they got an audience with this guy, and they said they showed this guy, look what people have to go through to use your product. And they brought out a paint can. Now, everybody here's probably used, painted, right? It's a mess. You can never find that hickey that they give you, that helps you open a can. So what do? You get a butter knife or a screwdriver or something like that, and then you finally get it, and it's a mess, and you get the lid. And you don't know what to do with the lid, right? And then it's just, and you're pouring it. I've got this little plastic thing you put on it, but it helps. It's a mess. It's just a freaking mess. Nobody likes to paint because of the paint. So these guys said, you really don't. You have to look at it from your customer's perspective, and understand why it's just not a pleasant experience. And by the way, we have an answer. See, they're not dumb. You shouldn't go into a manager with a problem unless you have an answer for them. So they did. They had an answer. And it was a prototype of what you see here. This thing has got 15 patents on it. 15 patents. Nottingham and Spurk has a goal. They have a goal to have more patents than Edison. That's their goal. In their offices, they have this tally of here's Edison, 1,000 plus patents, and here's where they're at. They're at 600 and some. They're going to beat them. That's their goal. Have more patents than Edison. I think they'll do it. This thing is so cool. Got a handle rather than a handle this way. It's a handle because you can pour it. A woman can pour it. That's the other thing. They said what they want to do, how to open up the market, is women want to be creative and do this stuff, but they don't because it's messy and it's ooky, and they just rather have the guy get dirty. Okay, they have a handle on it. You pour it. And when you open that up, by the way, you don't need any tool to open this up. It's a twist on. And it's got two things on it, so a woman can do it with average strength. And when you open it up, it's got a spout that comes out, and it folds back in. How cool is that? And it turns out that, so from the customer standpoint, this solves a whole lot of problems. It turns out that paint cans have a 20% return because they get dinged somewhere in the process of handling. And if you're like me, you don't buy a paint can that's got a dent in it. You just don't. Because why? The one next to it's got, so it's a 20% return. Guess what? If you bang this around, it doesn't get dented. So can you imagine from Sherwin-Williams getting 20% more, getting rid of 20% of returns because they don't dent? How cool is that? What a great idea. These guys are just amazing. You want help in being innovative? These guys are a great source. They're right in town. They're real expensive, but they're right in town. They do believe in Cleveland. They're staying here. I have Google envy. I have Google envy. You know, every time I go to their site, they have this new tab. There's something new there. I mean, since they went public, they've come out with, you know, the language translator, the maps. I mean, it seems like it doesn't stop. And, you know, off the homepage is a link to the labs section, the stuff that's coming. My goodness, and that's just what they're showing to the public. You know that back there, they've got the next 2, 3, 4, 5 things they're working on. These guys are incredible. They have this engine, this wonderful engine. You know, what can we do with it? Well, I guarantee you that they've got the time to sit down there and to think that through. They have the time to do that because it's evident in what they do. Who's got the desktop, the Google desktop? Okay, how cool is that? Oh, it's just, well, why would we want to do that? That's just like Microsoft Search. Hell, it is. No way it's the same. Okay, it's a great thing. It's, you know, they're thinking. The maps. Why would you do maps when there's MapQuest and Yahoo Maps and all that stuff? Because I can do it better. And they did. They think it through. They have a culture. I'm guessing. I haven't had the luxury of getting to know these fellows. I'd love to do it. That encourages thinking like this. It's innovation. What can we do with this stuff? How do we do it? I mean, it's part of the way they work. That's the kind of thing that, if you know, and they have and they didn't have that. You know, it's not like they were bringing in a whole lot of money early on, right? They struggled. They struggled right through. They stuck with their product. They believed in their product. Okay, they had all sorts of competitors out there. They thought they had the best. They stuck with it, and this is the result. I have Google envy. Google envy. So, okay. We're getting close. Close to the end. You guys have been very patient. Thank you. So this is kind of the summary. You need to take away something. Petro's been up here for almost an hour and a half, been babbling around. I told you, if you let me talk, I will, and I have. So, time to get some takeaways. Make it worth your while for sitting here, giving up part of your afternoon. This is really your wake-up call. Remember I told you it took us that perfect storm project to let us know we had a problem. Not only as a company, but even as an individual level. Okay? Personally, I have you know, done some things that you know, you could say for myself, I like to think the company will benefit as well. But yeah, I went out and fought for some things. And I got them, and hopefully it's going to pay off. But this is, you know, I hope out of all this you're sensitized to, you know, this innovation thing. It's real. Okay? And if you're in a company that's not real, then you better start asking why it's not. So this is your wake-up call, your call to action as an individual, and if you're in any kind of management position, as a manager, to take some of these steps. Figure out, do something, man. And I don't care what it is. And it's going to be different for you, or you, or you. That's okay. But by golly, do something for either yourself and the company after you leave here. Think about this. I've given you all the roadmaps and the hints. It's easy. And go back to Amazon, right? Plenty of books there. You can start with IT. IT is great. You're in this business because you are creative people. It's a cool business. Okay? There isn't a greater opportunity to put yourself into a product on a continuing basis that I can think of. You know, I got the invitation from my undergraduate for the 30th year reunion. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it couldn't have been that many years. But in fact, it's been a great 30 years. And it's even a greater time now for you to be out there and being part of IT. You can be innovative in IT, have that opportunity to make a difference more than anybody else. It's a great place. Neither of my daughters I can convince of that because they see the hours I put in, but it's because I love it. I'm sure you guys do too. And this whole thing, the last thing about a journey rather than a destination. It is. It's not easy. You can see I've failed several times trying to put innovation either into a group or a company. It's not easy. But think of it as a journey, not something that you do just once. Okay, so for those of you who have been observant through all this time, you should know by now that I'm somewhat of a fan of Mr. Da Vinci. Okay, all along we've been showing some of his drawings and things. A great creative guy, and how many of you read the Da Vinci Code? Okay, a couple. A great easy read book. But if you've been real attentive, you've been noticing all along the bottom of each slide are a series of roses. And so, in fact, it is a code. And for anybody, Paul's got the presentation up on the web, so you can grab it. And so anybody who can break the code and email me the answer on what it is, I will get you a year's free subscription to any one of our sites, eGreetings, Blue Mountain, or American Greetings. And so there's a summary of all the pages. And since I'm a nice guy, I'm going to give you a hint. And that's the hint. Ask key code questions. And even another hint, I've given you the first answer. So that's out there on the web. I don't think anybody had memorized it. And with that, that is the end, and I'd be willing to take questions, especially if someone could get me a glass of water. Yes, sir.
You talked about sending your guys out into the world to PyCon and having them surf the web a few hours a week and things like that a lot, and see what other people have done and steal what you can and put it to new
right.
Innovative uses. Do you guys do much in the way of contributing back so that other people can say, hey, they did something really innovative. Let's see if we can try to be as cool as them.
Okay, the question was, since one of Bruce's Petroisms is to steal shamelessly, what am I doing to further enhance the art, if you will? Very little. And other than going on the road like this, trying to participate seriously. We do have people that are active in the Linux community. In fact, I just gave one of our staff members the okay to publish into an open forum one of our products that he'd been working on. This has to do with configuration management. I can't remember the name of the tool, but there's an open source engine out there that he made additions to, so we did publish that. Another one of our staff is very active in Linux. We encourage him to publish. We are getting active in the Python. So quite seriously, we are doing a little bit of that, and it's only recently I think we have something worthwhile, and so we are making it a point to, in fact, contribute. Yes, sir.
You're looking into doing e-greetings via cell phones, correct?
I'm sorry, what was it?
You're looking to doing greeting cards via cell phones,
yes.
Correct? Can I give you some advice?
Sure.
Start with Sprint.
Okay. The question was, am I looking to put greeting cards on cell phones? I said yes. His recommendation was start with Sprint. You familiar with 3G Upload?
Yes.
Okay, 3G Upload, I know the guys there that actually started that business, great group of guys. They run an interesting site, 3gupload.com. They push product to most phones. I love those guys and I have a lot of admiration. We are actually working with Sprint more through a front door rather than a back door.